והמליכו ויאמרו יחד כולם הוידו והמליכו ויאמרו הוידו והמליכו ויאמרו יחד כולם הוידו והמליכו ויאמרו הוידו והמליכו ויאמרו יחד כולם הוידו והמליכו ויאמרו הוידו והמליכו ויאמרו
Good evening, I'm Jordan Sandler. Welcome to Yachad Kollel and Outreach Center's annual banquet. Everything you see here tonight was made possible by your generous support. So let's take a moment to reflect and revisit some of the events that led us to this day. When the temple in Jerusalem, built by King Solomon, was destroyed in 3338, approximately 2,600 years ago, our people were banished from our own land by the Babylonians. Most of us were exiled into the Babylonian Empire, later to be conquered by the Persian Empire. This was the beginning of the long and tumultuous exile of our people in Iran until the present. This long period is dotted with much despair, anguish, poverty, and many pogroms and persecutions across the country. But as the words of the Almighty promise in Leviticus 26:44, and yet for all that, when they are in the land of their enemies, I will not reject them, neither will I abhor them. He constantly brought about redemption, as is evident in the miracle of Purim and many other incidents throughout the generations. Through this exile, our ancestors firmly kept their adherence to God through Torah study and by performing His commandments, and He always guarded His people, providing them with able and compassionate leaders. In the year 1925, Reza Shah Pahlavi founded the Pahlavi dynasty and overtook the reign of Iran. Over the next 54 years, Reza Shah and his son Mohammad Reza led and directed the country more and more towards secularism and westernization in order to achieve their personal goals. Through forced secularization and in the haste of joining the modernization frenzy, our community forsook our prized Torah and educational system that has guided us throughout the long and bitter exile. During the last millennia of our people's exile in Iran, God blessed us with many communal leaders and teachers who sacrificed their lives through many ups and downs to guarantee that the torch of our Holy Torah does not dim, and it is passed to the next generation with the same intensity as in previous generations. In March 1975, through the activities of Aguda Yisrael of America, a group of American senators traveled to Iran to discuss closure of private school systems. In their midst was a great man and a visionary Rabbi Naftali Neuberger. He visited different Jewish communities and schools and felt the great need for a new breed of community leaders and rabbis who could lead the community as the new challenges of the modern era would arise. Rabbi Neuberger was a man of vision and many abilities who felt responsible for his brethren. In August of 1975, young David Zargari has been accepted to the York University's MBA program in Toronto, Canada. Before going to Canada, he travels to Baltimore, Maryland to visit a friend. But as Hashem has intended, his plans change as he ends up meeting Rabbi Neuberger, who convinces him to stay for a short period in yeshiva. This was the first phase of Rabbi Neuberger's vision to produce young Iranian community leaders. Over the next few years, 12 more students from across Iran joined Rabbi Zargari in Ner Yisrael Yeshiva. By the early 80s, there are over 130 students from Iran in yeshiva. After many months of popular demonstrations against the monarchy of Mohammad Reza Shah, the Islamic Revolution of Iran overthrew the Pahlavi dynasty's 54-year reign over Iran and replaced it with the Islamic Republic of Iran on April 1st, 1979. The Islamic Revolution and reoccurrence of anti-Semitism that followed in Iran due to Islamication and government propaganda against the State of Israel and its interests sparked a mass exodus among our community members. Many joined their brethren in Israel. Some traveled to Europe and other countries, but most traveled to North America. As masses of people traveled to the United States and families were gathered near each other, communities were formed. These small but growing communities lack leaders and teachers that every Jewish community needs to prosper in a healthy fashion. Leaders who could bridge the generation gap and connect the older generation who grew up in Iran to the younger generation who was being raised in America and needed the guidance of spiritual mentors who they could connect with. The Los Angeles Iranian Jewish community is the largest Iranian community outside of Israel. During the 1990s, the need for higher Jewish education community-wide was felt by our community, and a decision was made to establish Yachad. As a result, Yachad Kollel and Outreach Center was formed in 1998 by Rabbi David Zargari. This was the brainchild of the late Rosh Yeshiva of Ner Israel Rabbinical College of Baltimore, Harav Shemuel Yaakov Weinberg. Yachad was founded with the goals of uplifting and enriching the lives of the community members through outreach and education. Thanks to the valiant efforts of Yachad over the past 15 years, the face of the Persian Jewish community in Los Angeles has taken a completely new form. Today, Yachad is a nucleus of outreach and Jewish education in our community, offering over 150 weekly classes, enriching and uplifting the lives of our brothers and sisters. Yachad's educational staff consists of many dynamic rabbis and educators who devote themselves full-time to the needs of the community. They are Rabbi Avraham Levi Chaim, Rosh Kollel; Rabbi Michael Sigan Kohanim; Rabbi Yosef Shem Tov; Rabbi Yechazkiel Aryeh; Rabbi Shlomo Zargari; Rabbi Eliezer Raphael Meir; Rabbi Shemuel Achamzadeh; Rabbi Moshe Yacobi; Rabbi Yosef Chakshur; Rabbi Chaim Saidian; Rabbi Moshe Levikan; Rabbi David Cohen; Mrs. Rachel Cohen. Often our rabbis organize get-togethers for teens and young adults to connect with each other and have fun doing it. At all events, our participants are treated to a thought-provoking lecture. Activities include enjoyable barbecues, hiking, and always enjoying a good time. Over the past 2 years, Rabbi Shemuel Achamzadeh hosts a Friday night after-dinner Oneg Shabbat for young adults so they can enjoy the spirit of Shabbat together. These programs for Jewish teens are part of Yachad's goal of ensuring that our youth take pride in being Jewish and carry it with them throughout their lives. In response to a growing need in the community, Rabbi Moshe Yacobi, a veteran educator of Yachad Kollel, has established a Talmudic educational program over the past 2 years called Yeshivat Torah Lishma, YTL. Rabbi Yacobi's aim is to assist his students in their quest to connect with their heritage on a deep and meaningful level. YTL is more than a learning program. It is a second home to the students, where they grow to their fullest potential to be a positive force in our Jewish community. This program is geared toward university students and young professionals seeking to experience yeshiva-style Talmudic study.
I've had the privilege of being with YTL the past 2 years, and I think it's so important to have this in our community because it gives the youth the foundation that it needs to thrive. And just like a building needs its foundation to stand, the youth, the younger generation that has all these tests needs it to survive. And I think YTL is doing a beautiful job taking care of that and providing that service for all of us.
The continuing partnership of Yachad and Star has brought the light of Torah to Pali High students with the help of Rabbi Yitzchak Sakai. Approximately 75 students come together and connect with each other and learn about their Jewish heritage. Students are treated to a free lunch, followed by brief food for the soul on Jewish philosophy. A question and answer session follows. For some of these students, it is their first ever connection to Judaism. Through these youth clubs, Yachad is able to reach hundreds of students per year.
I just want to say what a privilege it is for me to be here every week and spend time with my students here at Pali High. It's amazing. We have amazing neshamot here, and I pray that we will always be able to do this as long as we live to bring Jews closer and closer to their traditions, hand in hand, partners in Torah. Amen. Thank you for the opportunity.
Rabbi David Cohen, a UCLA graduate himself, leads Yachad's college outreach program. He conducts many large and small-scale sessions of thought-provoking classes where Jewish Persian students gather together to be inspired by Torah thoughts. Rabbi Cohen is also proudly directing a unique outreach initiative called Jewish Leadership Network. In an upscale setting, students are given the opportunity to meet with Jewish high-level professionals in a range of fields to network and obtain internships. For the second straight year, Rabbi David is leading a very successful and inspiring Israel medical program for pre-med students. The students spend 6 sessions meeting with top doctors in LA. They discuss Jewish ethics and medicine. The participants connect with their heritage through study and hands-on experience before embarking on to medical school.
My favorite medical experience was shadowing the different doctors and specifically the anesthesiologist, Debbie Cohen. I was able to sit in on a numerous amount of surgeries with her.
Yachad is dedicated to women's education by providing myriad classes, lectures, and activities for women and girls. Mrs. Rachel Cohen's intellectually inspiring classes are geared toward today's woman, and they show us how the Torah's age-old wisdom is relevant to our modern lives. Whether leading a casual discussion group at UCLA, USC, or providing personal guidance at the local Coffee Bean, or hosting challah baking classes at her home, Mrs. Cohen's unique blend of wisdom, insight, and sensitivity leaves an impression on all who come in contact with her. She has a special ability to teach Judaism in an inspiring, relevant, and meaningful way. As our community expands and the need for experienced mentors grows, Rabbi Chaim Saidian, a part-time member of Yachad's educational team, has recently joined us with his family from his studies in Jerusalem. His friendly and positive approach has attracted many young men who attend his weekly courses on diverse topics and learn from his knowledge. Rabbi Saidian and his wife are in the process of establishing a center for young adults. From time to time, Yachad conducts large-scale community-wide lecture events to reach the community at large and elevate every soul. These occasions bring together hundreds of people from across a wide spectrum of society who come to learn more about their heritage and know more about their past. Led by Rabbi Yosef Shem Tov, Sunday morning hiking is a very special group. Every few weeks on a Sunday at 7:30 a.m., a group of businessmen hike the treks through Franklin Canyon and the Hollywood Hills as they discuss the various Jewish topics and enjoy open Ask the Rabbi conversations. They gain new spiritual insights in the invigorating mountain air. Yachad's executive learning program provides Torah classes in offices all around town. Downtown Los Angeles in the Fashion and Jewelry District, Santa Monica, and Beverly Hills. And recently, the advent of the Center for our Educational Staff at the Diamond District in the 550 Hill Street building and the synagogue in the 12th floor, where Yachad staff officially conducts prayer services and quick words of Torah are contemplated. This dynamic program was established by Rabbi Shem Tov as a response to a tremendous thirst for learning and knowledge within our community. For those who don't have time to come to Yachad, motivating Torah classes are brought directly to them in their workplace. The program has now grown to include other rabbis as teachers: Rabbi Yehazkel Aryeh, Rabbi Shlomo Zargari, and Rabbi Moshe Levi-Khan. Their success speaks for itself. We'd like to thank tonight's corporate partners: Glatt Mart Cambridge Farms, Santa Monica Glatt Mart, Universal Print and Copy, Classic Le Palace Pastry, Livonia Glatmark, Color on Demand, Sharon Catering, West Pico Foods, Pico Glatmark, Nuts and More, David Shillian and Arus Photography, and Elot Fish. Yachad would also like to thank the Marathi family for tonight's entertainment, the Narafshan family for the Simcha Hall, Mrs. Michal Parati for design, and the Ohev Shalom family for catering. Thank you so much for coming out this evening, and thank you for your generous support throughout the year for Yachad Kollel and Outreach Center. Because of your support, amazing things have been possible. I'm Jordan Sandler. Enjoy the rest of tonight's program.